Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be a Dark Magician deck profile. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a fairly good Dark Magician deck profile. Like, I'm surprised how well it turned out. It does have some pretty decent synergy, but I'm still working on how to incorporate the extra deck a little bit more. So it's in a development phase. Feel free to change whatever you want in the main or extra deck. This is just a basis on how I made my Dark Magician deck. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So starting things off, of course, we play 3 Dark Magician main piece of the deck. The whole point of this deck is to summon out a bunch of Dark Magicians. So yeah, it's a good card. There, of course, this deck isn't like hyper competitive, but you probably could do pretty well with this deck. So yeah, 3 Dark Magician, 1 Dark Magician Girl, just because I don't play it based off the fact of the card. I play it because there are some support cards that can help you a little bit when it comes to just playing that card. Then I play 2 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. Now, this card is basically a free special summon. You can special summon it from your hand by discarding 1 card, and then you can add 1 Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, which is pretty good. We don't have cards like White Stone of Ancients, which can like special summon it super easily, like from the hand, but it still works because this deck can special summon from the deck really easily. Of course, 3 Magician Souls. Now, this can definitely be substituted. Like, I could throw in 1 more of these, and, like, literally 1 more of anything, like a Dark Magic attack, and take these out. Now, they are really good cards, but the thing is, they're $120 a piece, which is a bit much for most players, especially me. I'm a budget player. But, this isn't a budget deck profile. So 3 copies of this, really good. 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusions. This is basically like a free special summon on your opponent's turn if you activate a spell or trap card. So what you could do is you could activate your navigation to summon a Dark Magician from the deck, then special summon that, which is really good. Then I play 3 copies of Magician's Robe. Now, this is basically you discard a spell card and special summon a Dark Magician from your deck, and then during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell, trap, or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it or banish that card when it leaves the field. So yeah, sorry, you special summon this, but banish it when it leaves the field. So it's really good combo piece. I'd even say it's better than most of these other combo pieces up here. Then I play 2 copies of Magician's Rod. Now this I would bump up to 3 like in a heartbeat, but the thing is I felt like Magician's Robe was much more necessary to do your combos with, because this can add 1 spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician, which is really good, which means you can get literally all of these to your hand with super easily with that card. So this card is really good. I would bump it up to 3, but I feel like I've gotten a pretty tight knit deck right here. 1 copy of Spellbook Magician of Prophecy, or as most people in the fandom call it, Blue Boy. This card helps you search your spellbook cards. I do play the spellbook engine in this deck, just as draw consistency. I play 2 copies of Ash Blossom. Maxing out at 3 copies of Ash Blossom would be a bit risky because you need a lot of these pieces for your combos, and putting too much like just miscellaneous stuff in this deck could be really risky. I play 1 Magician of Chaos and 1 Magician of Black Chaos Max. These are your ritual monsters. You can summon them with Secret of Dark Magic, and I feel like they're really good. And if you're able to summon them out, it's pretty good. Plus, you can't really search them really easily in this deck, but if you hard draw into them with your spell card, that's pretty simple, and then you get basically a free ritual monster. Then I play 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle. So when I first started playing against this deck, I was confused why this card was so good. But as I started playing against it more, I realized that this is like one of the most important cards in your deck. So when this card is activated, look at the top 3 cards and add a Dark Magician or a card that specifically lists Dark Magician in its card text. And then you can put the rest of them back in any order. And then if a Dark Magician is normal or special summoned, you can target one card on the field and banish it. So it is a hard once per turn, and it's a hard once per turn on each effect, so you can use each of its effects. But the thing is, if you draw into more than one copy of it, there's no point. So it is really good, but it's a bit risky if you draw more than one of it. Then I play 2 copies of Dark Magic Attack. This is basically like a Harpy's Feather Duster for Dark Magicians. You can destroy all spells and trap cards your opponent controls. I was gonna play Dark Burning Attack as well, which destroys all monsters, but I really only planned on playing 1 copy of it, and if I play that, I might as well just play a Raigeki instead, because Dark Burning Attack only relies on Dark Magician, so I might as well have played a Raigeki, and I didn't really feel like playing Raigeki in this deck. 1 copy of Dark Magic Expand. This card is okay. It's probably one of the worst cards in the deck, but the thing is that I kind of put it in here just as a spot holder. I would switch this out for another copy of Magician's Rod, but it's okay. It's got some decent effect. So, the first one, it's gain 1,000 attack points for if you have 1 dark spellcaster on the field. The second one is this card, this turn your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to anything basically. And then if you have 3 or more dark spellcasters you can currently control are unaffected by your opponent's card effects. So you can actually do this during like your turn or your opponent's turn because it's a quick play, and protect like all your Dark Magicians if you manage to get like literally any of them out. Like all your dark spellcasters, basically your whole deck of dark spellcasters, other than your few cards right there. But it's pretty easy to do. Then, of course, 3 copies of Secret of Dark Magic because, it's your fusion spell and your ritual spell. I wish they had a fusion spell more like Red Eyes Fusion, which allows you to use materials from your deck, because this deck isn't super, super powerful, but if you could fusion summon from your deck, but use this as your main ritual spell, that would be really good. Like, keep its effect, but then add, like, a Magician's Fusion or something, so that you can, fuse, your, like, Buster Blader and your Red Eyes and stuff from your deck, which would be pretty good because a lot of your cards are specific to monsters. Like Dark Cavalry needs a warrior monster, and like Dragoon needs a Red Eyes, and Paladin needs Buster Blader, and so on and so forth. So I kind of wish they had a better fusion spell, but this is what we got. Again, spellbook lineup fairly simple. We play 2 Spellbook of Secrets and 2 Spellbook of Knowledge. 2 Eye of Timaeus because this is another one of your main fusion spells. It helps you go into these 3 monsters right here, which is really good. You could go into Red Eyes Dragoon of Red Eyes with this, which actually works. Like, I'm surprised that works, because you use Dark Magician and then use this card, Eye of Timaeus, as a fusion spell, or as the other fusion material. And this card, it it just needs 1 dragon effect monster, so that works really well. Then I play 2 copies of Eternal Soul. Now this card, it's good, but it's kind of a risk to play. So basically, it makes all your all your Dark Magicians unaffected by card effects, and once per turn you can special summon one Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, or you could add a Dark Magic attack or Thousand Knives, which I don't play, from your deck to your hand. So it's really good. It is kind of a risk to end up destroying all your monsters, but that's kind of okay because it has a decent effect. So if this card leaves the field, destroy all your monsters, but all of its other effects are well worth the destruction effect. Then I play 2 copies of Magician Navigation. This card, it's a bit too slow to play it at 3 copies. I would play it at 3 copies because its effect is amazing. It's basically just special summon one Dark Magician from your hand, then special summon a level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from your deck, which you can summon 2 Dark Magicians with this card. 2 Dark Magicians. Plus you can summon you could summon your Dark Magician of Illusion, or Dark Magician of Face, and you can summon your Dark Magician out, which is pretty easy. It's really good. But yeah, that is it for the main deck. I'd say the main deck is actually pretty solid. If you want to change out a few things, like maybe run something to be able to do synchro plays, wouldn't object to that. That would be pretty good. But I'd say it's actually a pretty solid pretty solid main deck. Now moving on to the extra deck, we got the Dark Magicians, playing 2 copies. This card, it's really easy to special summon. Just using your fusion spell, you can summon it out with a Dark Magician and any other monster from your deck other than these 2. Then I play 1 copy of Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. I'm thinking about bumping Cavalry down to 1, or getting rid of Dark Paladin and putting in another copy of this, because this card's pretty good. This card's name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the graveyard, and your opponent cannot target spells or traps you control with card effects. So this is basically like keeping your cards protected, because you do have your continuous spell as well as your back row spell, quick plays that you're going to want to leave on the field. So this is just a good protection. I play 2 copies of Amulet Dragon just because it's the most generic card to summon out with Eye of Timaeus. Then I play 2 copies of Dark Cavalry. Now, I'm still working out the kinks of this deck, because I need to find ways to summon out Dark Paladin and Dark Cavalry normally in this deck without going through huge jumps, but right now they're kind of just placeholders. So I'm trying to find something good to do with them. Dragoon of Red Eyes. This card is actually really easy to summon with the Eye of Timaeus, so that works. Then I play 1 Dark Paladin, just again placeholder. So for the Link monsters, I play Selene, Queen of the Master Magician. I just play it because it's a generic spellcaster Link monster. Then I play, same reason I play Daybreaker, the Shining Magical Warrior. Then I do play some of the Xyz monsters. I play 1 copy of Chaos Xyz Simon the Great Moral Leader, just because it's level 7, and then this card is unaffected by monster effects if this card has certain monster as Xyz material. It basically doesn't have an effect. Yeah, it's kind of useless. But then I play 1 copy of Iban Illusion Magician, because this card is actually part of this archetype, so it's really good. You can Xyz summon this card using a rank 6 spellcaster, so any of these 2. It is kind of difficult to summon them, but if you have like a Dark Magician and one of your apprentice magicians on the field, you can summon it out. And then you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, special summon 1 normal spellcaster from your hand or deck. When a normal spellcaster declares an attack, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and banish it, which that's really good. So you want to summon any of these 2 out, and then summon out your Iban Illusion Magician, which either way you can actually summon your Illusion Magician pretty easily with this deck, so you can summon that and be able to pretty easily go into that card. And then just rounding it off, I play Magi Star Magician Gal. This is like just no reason other than the fact that this is like the lostest art promo. Like, I know that's not even a word, but like everybody's waiting for this card to actually come into the TCG, because the person who made the cards um refused to let it be like localized or censored. So I kind of just threw this in here just because this is not in the TCG, so who cares? Then for rounding off the extra deck, I play one Norito, the Moral Leader. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell, trap, or a spell or trap card effect, quick effect, you can detach one material and negate the activation. So yeah, you can use that as the material. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. And I know this deck does need a lot of work to be more competitive, but I really need some help with this deck. So please tell me down below what you think I should add. I want it to stay a Dark Magician deck. I don't want it to just become like a spellcaster deck. And so yeah, please leave something in the comments. Tell me what you thought of it, and I will see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.